Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning to you here in our physical sanctuary. Good morning to those of us joining us in our Zoom sanctuary. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. I'm the Reverend Julia Hamilton, and I am so delighted that you are here with us this morning for, as you can see, a bit of a special event. This is our annual multi-generational holiday play here at the Unitarian Society, and it is going to be a fun and slightly chaotic goblin-filled morning. We have had one fantastic rehearsal, and we are ready to share with you our play this morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. In this holiday season, we are celebrating all of our winter holidays together. We had Advent last Sunday. This Sunday, we're celebrating Hanukkah, which is happening right now. Next Sunday, we will be honoring the winter solstice. And then, of course, on Christmas Eve, we will be gathering. There's an insert in your order of service with a list of all of the special holiday events and happenings that are happening here. So please join us to celebrate the season with us together. We have a lot going on here at the Unitarian Society, and I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors, guests, and family members, online or in person. We would love to get to know you better and keep you connected to the congregation. There's a yellow connection card here you can fill out and drop in the offertory, or fill out the online connection card. Stop by our welcome table after the service. There's a newcomer orientation on the second Sunday of every month in the front office, so you can join Angie in the front office to meet some other new folks, ask questions, get oriented to the Unitarian Society. And for whether you've been here twice or 200 times, I invite you to take a look at that insert in your order of service with all of the things that are going on, and I want to highlight just a couple of them. Today is the day when we find out the winner of the window renaming process here at the Unitarian Society, the name of our Unitarian or Universalist ancestor who will appear on this window. And we are going to be having a town hall meeting after the service where we will tally up the votes. And there is childcare extended. If you have little ones, they can stay in Star King so everyone can join us at the meeting. And there'll be cake to celebrate. So join us afterwards. And if you are joining us online, you can just stay on for our online coffee hour, and we will be live streaming the meeting part as well. So just stay right where you are if you want to join us for that. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to send you cake, but folks in Silicon Valley are working on that part of interactivity. We have also our Contemporary Issues Forum coming up on Wednesday. Dr. Joel Rothman will be talking about the future of longevity and aging in our world. And John Warnock and Jack Eisenhower are here. There's John. They're going to be at a table in the garden if you want to find out more about the Contemporary Issues Forum, or you can just show up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I invite you now to take a breath, to settle yourself where you are, to prepare yourself to just be here, to set aside the holiday busyness and give yourself a gift of this hour of presence in community as we ring our bell and let the sound connect us.
I'd like to invite Olivia Asher up. Is she in the room to light the candle, light the chalice? Is Olivia here? Reverend Julia is bringing the chalice lighter. Okay. But I will start while we're waiting for her. And if you're joining us in our online sanctuary and would like to participate from home, please type into the chat, "Chalice is lit," and the name of your street or town. While we cannot see the flame, we know it's burning bright throughout our far-flung community. The words for this morning's chalice lighting are by the early 20th century Kabbalist Rav Abraham Isaac Kook. Everyone must know that within them burns a candle, and that no one's candle is identical with the candle of another, and that there is no human being without a candle. One is obligated to work hard to reveal the light of one's candle in the public realm for the benefit of the many. One needs to ignite one's candle and make of it a great torch to enlighten the entire world. Thank you, Olivia. See you in a few minutes. Okay. Every Sunday, we take a moment to reflect upon positive changes and change makers we've witnessed and add these to our change jar. This morning, I want to lift up an example of the generosity of our own Santa Barbara community. On Tuesday, I attended Grants in Action, an event put on by the Women's Fund of Santa Barbara to highlight the incredible work of 3 local organizations. Representatives from the Immigrant Legal Defense Center, the Legal Aid Foundation, and Freedom for Youth spoke about new programs and services they can now offer, in large part due to the targeted money they received from the Women's Fund, a completely volunteer group raising and providing money to organizations working for the betterment of everyone in our city. If you've been moved by something you witnessed, did, or experienced that brought positive or resisted negative change in the world, please type it into the chat, add it to our physical change jar, or discuss it with your friends during coffee hour. Change is important for all of us now, change for the good.
Let us sing together this morning. We are going to start with number 1 in our hymnal. So right there on the first page of the gray hymnal, or the words are going to be on your screen. Please rise in body and spirit and let us sing, "May Nothing Evil Cross This Door."
May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry about these windows. May the roar and rain go by. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This heart, though all the world grow chill, will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms into a shrine. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
One of the core values of Unitarian Universalism is our commitment to sharing and learning from one another and from the religious traditions that we bring into this congregation with us. In our community, we have a wide diversity of religious beliefs and backgrounds. We have atheists and agnostics and theists and humanists, and sometimes that's just one person on different days. We are all learning and growing and changing our whole life long, and that includes our beliefs and our theologies. We have people who find meaning in the Christian tradition, in pagan and Wiccan paths, in their Jewish heritage, in their Hindu faith, in indigenous traditions, in their Muslim heritage, in religious naturalism, and I'm sure I am leaving out quite a few. And a couple of us who even grew up Unitarian Universalist all along. And this is why we celebrate so many diverse holidays in our congregation, because we affirm that the wisdom traditions of the world have something to teach all of us. When you become a member of this congregation, you don't have to leave part of yourself outside. And that includes the things that you might treasure about the faith that influenced who you are today, even as you embrace Unitarian Universalism as your religious home. We invite you to bring your traditions into this community and share them so that we all may be enriched by their wisdom. And it feels even more important right now that we do this, that we share our traditions and histories so that we build interfaith understanding in a world that seems determined to divide us, build walls, move us into us and them categories rather than building on the compassion of our shared humanity. When we take time to understand each other, celebrate with one another, laugh with one another, and tell stories together, then we are building the kind of world that we want to live in. So I am so grateful to have Ellen Broidy on our Worship Arts team to share with us a little background about Hanukkah and why it is particularly important to celebrate together this morning, even as we live in a world that struggles to find a path toward peace.
At sundown, Jews all over the world, in the state of Israel and in the vast diaspora, will light a candle marking the fourth night of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. Hanukkah is a rather strange religious holiday. For one thing, there's scant, if any, reference to it in Jewish holy texts. It truly is an outlier. It is at once the most familiar of the numerous Jewish holidays and holy days, and the least tied to religious practice. Hanukkah celebrates two interconnected events, a military victory and a miracle. In 164 BCE, before the Common Era, Jews under the command of Judah the Maccabee won a decisive victory against the army of the Seleucid king and regained control of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. When the Maccabees entered the temple, they found it ransacked, and the oil used to light the candles, like the lamps, defiled. Miraculously, there was one vial of oil left untouched, enough to last a single day. The miracle of Hanukkah, and why it takes over a week to celebrate, is that one vial lasted for 8 days. In contrast to the more somber Jewish holidays and holy days, Hanukkah is a time of unbridled joy and merriment. It's an occasion to be with family and friends, to exchange gifts, and eat traditional foods like latkes, potato pancakes fried in enough oil to make your arteries cry out to Yahweh for mercy. It's a holiday more understandable to non-Jews than the heavily doctrinal days that mark the Jewish calendar. Often falling close to, and occasionally right on Christmas, it's a celebration that looks familiar to those outside the tradition. In fact, it's been called the Jewish Christmas. Laughter and silliness abound, and as you'll see shortly, when fellow congregants entertain us with a special Hanukkah play, it's a time to put aside the cares of the world and just chortle at the antics of the heroes and the villains of the story. Deep sigh. But before we get there, I feel compelled to add a somber note. Since the Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th and the subsequent Israeli terror raining down on the citizens of Gaza, it's become a perilous time for American Jews. The easy conflation of Zionist with Jew has opened the floodgates to acts of actual violence, as well as language from the right and from the left. that has sought to demonize all Jews for the actions of a government thousands of miles from our shores, and to which many of us owe no allegiance other than to understand and support from a distance Israel's right to exist. For the first time in years, I must confess that I'm frightened. I've worn a Star of David for decades, and suddenly, even in Santa Barbara, I question the wisdom and safety of this outward manifestation of who I am. I've worn it as an expression of pride, of community, of history. Now, in the face of calls for genocide of the Jews, it feels more like an act of resistance and defiance. Anti-Semitism is hardly a new phenomenon. In fact, it has the dubious distinction of ranking high amongst the world's most enduring and deep-seated prejudice. It did not and does not need the existence or actions of the State of Israel to rear its ugly head. And while deeply hurt by the words and behaviors of some of those I long believed were comrades in arms on the progressive left, I too condemn in the strongest terms possible the actions of the Netanyahu government and hold fast to my support for a two-state solution. But when I hear people shouting, quote, "from the river to the sea," unquote, or alluding to genocide, it doesn't take a magic decoder ring to unpack what these slogans mean. Hanukkah is my favorite holiday, and I so wish that I could celebrate it with a lighter heart and a less troubled mind, with all the joy this season deserves. But since I cannot, I take comfort in the fact that within these walls of this sanctuary, we strive to keep kindling the flame of hope and freedom, especially when times are hard. I know that here we can give ourselves permission, if only for an hour, to step away from, though never forget, the pain of the world. So I offer my heartfelt thanks to you for allowing me to express difficult feelings in the midst of a festival of light. As we strive, singly and collectively, to bring light into this troubled world, I find the words of Misha Berach, the Hebrew prayer of blessing and healing, put to music by the late Debbie Friedman, playing in the soundtrack of my mind. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen.
We will have two offerings this morning, one now and one at the end of the play. So if you've got your towels that you brought in, the towel offering is going to be at the end of the play. Hold on to them. But today, for our traditional offering, we are partnering with Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, Blue. This is an organization that has existed since 2015, a national organization that helps support Black Unitarian Universalists in our faith, bringing them together for support and spiritual encouragement and a chance to get to know each other across our country. So please give as generously as you are able to support the work of this congregation and the way we live our values in the world. And read with me our affirmation of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. And now, I present to you our 2023 holiday play, Hershel and the Hanukkah Goblins.
First night of Hanukkah, Hershel of Ostrapol was walking down the road. He was tired and hungry. Nonetheless, his step was light. Soon he would reach the next village, where bright candles, merry songs, and platters piled high with tasty potato latkes awaited him.
But when he arrived, the village was silent and dark. Not a single Hanukkah candle could be seen.
No Hanukkah? How can that be?
It's because of the goblins. They hunt the old synagogue at the top of the hill.
They hate Hanukkah. Every time we try and light the candles, the goblins blow them out.
They break our trails and throw our potato latkes on the floor.
They make our lives miserable all year long. But on Hanukkah, it's really bad.
Hershel knew he must help the village people.
I'm not afraid of goblins. Tell me how to get rid of them.
Oy, goblins. Okay. It's not so easy. First, you have to spend 8 nights in the old synagogue with the goblins. Then you have to light the candles every single night, but on the 8th night, the king of the goblins has to light the candles himself. That's the only way to break their power. Good luck with that.
I'm not afraid, Rabbi.
You're not?
If I can't outwit a few goblins, then my name isn't Hershel of Ostrapol.
The villagers wished Hershel good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck with it, yeah.
Nice knowing you. Don't get eaten by the goblins.
They had no potato latkes to give him, so they packed several hard-boiled eggs for him to eat, along with a big jar of pickles.
The rabbi gave Hershel a brass menorah, a package of candles, and a box of matches.
Nobody expected to see Hershel ever again.
It was long past sundown. By the time Hershel climbed to the top of the hill where the old synagogue stood.
The crumbling old building was gloomy and dark, and there were rusty hinges that squeaked as Hershel opened the door. Creak.
Hershel put 2 candles in the menorah and set it on the windowsill. He lit the shamus candle. He said the blessings and was about to light the other candle when... Go.
Hey, what are you doing?
There were goblins, no bigger than a horsefly's, with long pointed tails and big bat wings hovering all around in the air.
Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah.
Oh, no, it's not. We don't allow Hanukkah here.
Is that so? Who's going to stop me? A little pipsqueak like you?
I may be little, but I'm strong.
Really? Can you crush rocks in your hand?
Ha! Crush rocks? Nobody's that strong.
squeezed it until the yolk and white ran through his fingers.
You leave us alone. Don't say that. Okay.
That's how hard I'm going to squeeze you if you try to stop me from lighting these candles.
In the dim light, the egg looked exactly like a rock. The little goblin shook with fear.
Oh yeah, there we go. Ah, you leave us alone.
Gladly, if you let me light my candles in peace.
All right, one night won't make a difference, but if they catch you here tomorrow lighting the candles, you'll be sorry.
We'll see about that.
Now he's lying. Okay. That was terrible.
On the second night, another goblin appeared. This one was much bigger and waddled like a goose. Hershel was finishing his dinner of pickles and hard-boiled eggs.
Here, have some pickles.
Pickles?
Here, catch.
Hershel tossed him a sour pickle. The goblin caught it in his mouth and swallowed it.
Pickles are good.
Do you like them? I have plenty in this jar. Take all you want.
The greedy goblin gabbed as many pickles as his claws could hold. But when he tried to pull his fist out of the jar, he couldn't. I think you're stuck.
I don't remember my line.
You put a spell on this jar.
Oh no, you wouldn't.
I think somebody put a spell on him.
That's right, and it's a very powerful spell. You came here tonight to stop me from lighting my candles. So, now I'm going to light them while you stand there with your hand in that jar and watch. How do you like that?
No, I hate Hanukkah.
Hershel said the blessings and lit the candles.
Shall I tell you how to break the spell?
Yes, we can't stand it anymore.
Let go of the pickles. Your greed is the only thing holding you captive.
The goblin let go of the pickles. His hand slipped out of the jar easily. How that goblin raged.
The furious goblin stamped his foot so hard that he shattered himself into a million pieces, and the wind blew him away.
The third night came. Hershel felt something watching him as he set the candles in the menorah.
Instead of lighting them, he began playing with the dreidel. About an hour passed. Hershel looked up. Sitting across the table was another goblin.
It's getting late. Aren't you going to light the candles?
Later. There's plenty of time. This is more fun.
What are you playing with? It looks like a top.
It's a dreidel.
No.
Too bad. Dreidels are lots of fun. You can also make lots of money if you know how to play.
Really? How do you play?
It's very simple, but you must have gold. That's the first rule.
I have money. I have lots of money. My apprentice will show you. Dump it out.
Ooh.
Is that enough?
That's fine. Listen carefully now. This is the letter Shin. If it comes up, you give me a handful of gold. This is the letter Hey. If it comes up, you give me half your gold. This is Gimel. If the dreidel falls on this letter, you give me all your gold. Understand?
Wait, there's another letter. What's that one?
That's none. If dreidel falls on none, I don't give you anything. Ready?
Yes.
The little top rolled round and round. When it fell, the letter on top was Shin.
Too bad. I get a handful. Maybe you'll have better luck.
The goblins spun the dreidel once more. This time it fell on hay.
This isn't your night. I get half your gold now.
Once again, the goblin spun. This time, the dreidel landed on Gimel.
Too bad. I get it all. Would you like me to spin?
Yes.
None. Oh my, I don't give you anything. I get to keep all the gold. Say, that was fun. Get some more gold and we'll play again.
When are you going to light the candles?
We'll light them later. There's plenty of time.
Not for us. I'm leaving. We're leaving. I don't like this game. I don't like Hanukkah. And I don't like you.
The goblin spread his wings. The goblins spread their wings, swooped out the door, and flew off into the night. Hershel lit the candles all by himself, singing a happy Hanukkah song.
On the following nights, other goblins came. They were all terrible and fierce. They growled and roared and changed themselves into horrible shapes. They tried to stop Hershel from lighting the Hanukkah candles, but Hershel fooled them all.
Let's sing a song.
It looks like Hershel's doing pretty well, folks. Let's all sing Hanukkah songs to cheer him on. Let's go. I'm going to sing the first verse in Yiddish, and then you can all join in. Oi Hanukkah, Jantif a Schener, a Lutziker, a Freiliker, nicht doch noch a Zehner, alle Nachmisch Redlach spielen mir, frische Hese Latkes essen Ashir. Okay. Hanukkah. Please stand if you're willing and able and join in. All dance a hora. Ever round the table will give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they sweat a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each Hanukkah, light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Dreidels to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Good luck, Hershel.
Finally, the seventh night arrived. 8 tiny candles flickered on the windowsill.
Hershel sat back to enjoy their light. Where were the goblins? Had they finally given up now? Hershel felt very sleepy. His eyes closed, but suddenly he sat up. He heard a horrible sound, a voice that sounded like the crackling of bones.
Hershel of Ostrapol.
Who is it? Who's there?
Weren't you expecting the king of the goblins?
You're too early. You're not supposed to come until tomorrow.
The voice rose.
Tomorrow night I will come for you. You fooled my other goblins. Let's see if you can fool me. Enjoy this Hanukkah evening, my friend. It will be your last.
Poor Hershel, what was he to do? The king of the goblins was on his way, and no power on earth could stop him. Unless Hershel had an idea.
It was the last night of Hanukkah. Hershel set the candles on the menorah. But instead of placing it on the windowsill, he put the menorah and the box of matches on a small table near the door. Then he sat down to wait. Night fell. It grew dark as pitch outside the gloomy old synagogue. Outside, the whole world lay cold and silent. Suddenly, a great gust ripped the synagogue door right from its hinges, and the whole building shook and a fearsome voice spoke.
Hershel of Ostrapol. It is I, king of the goblins.
Don't be silly. You're one of the boys from the village. You're trying to scare me.
First of all, I am not a boy, and second of all, I am the king of the goblins.
I'll believe it when I see it. Show yourself to me.
Behold,
It's too dark. I can't see anything. The candlestick and some matches are by the doorway. Why don't you light yourself a few candles? Then I'll see who you really are.
yes, you will.
The Goblin King struck a match and lit the tallest candle, the Shamus candle. Hershel's blood turned to water at the awful sight before him, but he prayed for courage.
It's still too dark. What are you afraid of? There are plenty of candles. Why not light them all?
A hideous hand took the Shamus candle and lit the others, one by one. Hershel felt himself growing faint, but he forced himself to look. His eyes grew wider and wider as each candle caught the flame. 6, 7, 8. The king of the goblins stood before him.
Now do you see who I am? Very, very funny. Enjoy the joke. It will be your last.
That's what you think. Be gone, or I'll take a stick to you.
How dare you speak to the king of the goblins that way?
I'll speak to you any way I please. You have no power. Your spell is broken. See, the menorah is lit. You thought those were ordinary candles you were lighting, but they weren't. They were Hanukkah.
Ah!
The king of the goblins roared with fury. The earth trembled and a mighty wind arose. It ripped off the synagogue roof and blew down the walls. It splintered the great timbers and scattered them like matchsticks. Around the menorah, the whirlwind howled. But the candles never flickered. They burned clear with steady flames. The king of the goblins had no power over them. The spirit of Hanukkah had triumphed.
The great wind vanished as suddenly as it had arisen. Hershel rubbed his eyes. The night was as still as before, even though the synagogue was gone. Walls, floor, roof, even the foundation stones had vanished. But the menorah remained standing tall upon the little table where Hershel had placed it.
Hershel waited until the last candle burned out. Then he started down the road that led to the village.
I'd better hurry to the village. I don't want to miss the last night of Hanukkah.
Hershel, you did it!
Yay!
Thank you to our fabulous cast of goblins and villagers and other characters. And we have another task for our cast if they want to come make sure they're in here to help out. We've got plenty of people here. Charlotte, do you want to tell us how we're going to end this play?
Make sure.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. First of all, is Sally Hamilton here? I'd like her help with this. Come on up, Sally. Did you bring a towel?
I've been saving it all week. I'm so excited.
You know, I noticed that a lot of people had towels today. I didn't know if we were having like a swim party after this, or what was it that we're doing?
No, these are towels for the showers of blessing.
Oh, right. And the kids were going to help with this. That's right. Hey, there might be something back behind our synagogue that we could put these towels in. And kids, can you come up? Everybody, all the kids in the play, come on up.
Just underneath while the kids go out and get the towels.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Just like a little, can you just noodle on the piano?
Yeah, great. And if you have a towel with you, can you kind of raise it up and kids go run around and collect those towels and we'll put them in this box here.
Heather's going to play a little music while we do this.
While Heather plays a little music.
This morning of towels. This box was already full of towels that people brought this week. And you know what else? We're going to leave it here for another week.
Wow, what a generous outpouring of towels. This is wonderful. Look at all those towels, you guys. Wow. Towels in every color. Our box is overflowing. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Just pile them on and pile them next to it. This is, wow. It's a Hanukkah miracle. This is amazing.
My car is not that big, you know.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity, and thank you, towel collectors.
As we close our play and get ready to head out into this beautiful and heartbreaking world, I want to take a minute and just think for just a little bit about the story we just heard. And one of the things that I took away from the story is about how sometimes when we are feeling like our own lights have gone out, somebody else comes along and helps us rekindle them. In the story we just told, Hershel is kind of like the shamus candle for the whole village. Right? They couldn't light their candles, the goblins were in the way, and along comes Hershel and helps them rekindle their lights. And that reminded me that, sometimes we have to think about the people who inspire us when we're feeling depressed or sad about the state of the world, or something's going on in our life that's full of troubles like little goblins floating around in our head. Sometimes it helps us to think about the people we know or the ancestors in our lives and families and friends who have helped us rekindle, been the shamus candle for our lives. So this week, as you go out into the world, I want you to think about who have been the people who have been the shamus candle in your life, that have helped you rekindle your sense of hope and possibility, that have helped lead the way toward freedom, to a more just and beloved world, because that is where the light of Hanukkah really lives, is in those people who bring joy and hope and a sense of possibility back into our lives, even in the darkest of times. So happy Hanukkah, everyone. So I would like to invite us all now to stand to sing our benediction. If you want to rise in body and spirit, you can hold your hands open or take hands with someone next to you if you have permission, or put your hands on your heart. However it is you want to get connected to that sense that we are all in this together. And as you go out into this holiday world, may the light of love shine upon you, out from within you, be gracious unto you, and bring you peace. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And let us call out a blessing.